Let's see. Uh, Helena, let's see. Villanilla 5, excuse me. Uh, what are your favorite Godzilla and Gamera, monsters, if any? Uh, let's see. One of my favorite Godzilla monsters are, besides Godzilla, Mothra. I like Biollanthe a lot. And I like King Ghidorah. I just wish he had some fucking arms. It'd be more convenient for him to have arms. And Gamera, God, I love Giron. I mean, that big knife head. I mean, how could you not love that? And Geos is pretty cool. Geos kicks Gamera's ass a lot. Let's see. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Those are the monsters I like a lot. Alright. And blow myself up, dude, I had another question. I should have put them together. DC or Marvel? I know you've recently been reading mostly DC. But I mean in general throughout your entire comic reading life, which do you prefer? And that's actually kind of a hard question because if you notice through some of my favorites here, there's a lot of Marvel. And that's because when I was a kid, I mainly read Marvel. And a lot of my writing influence and what I appreciate in storytelling comes from the Marvel books. 1982, I think, was the Marvel year. I think everything was just exactly right on all the books. Spider-Man, X-Men, Fantastic Four, Hulk, Daredevil. All their books was just fantastically created. They just had a great amount of artists and writers working with them at the time, and the editors were smart enough to just let them go. And DC was, I think, in a process of figuring out what they were going to do. I think what they eventually figured out was quite good. When they rebuilt after Crisis, they wisely stole some Marvel writers and some British writers and decided to mature up some of their books, like the Vertigo line. And they've done an amazing job turning their iconic characters who could be basically logos walking around into real people. And I really admire what they've done over the last, decade or two. And I think during the 90s I did make kind of a switch to being more of a DC guy. And that's kind of tough. At this moment, probably DC. But if you ask me this question 15 years from now, I mean, it could be completely different. It could be Image in 15 years, or maybe even Dark Horse. Both those companies are just terrific. Let's see. And let's see, Vautre. The first comic book he ever got, Spidey. And let's see, Greenfront. If you had to choose between giving up Batman or MST3K, what would you do? What would you do? I mean, thanks. It's not like Sophie's Choice or anything like that. I actually thought about this one probably the most because you know how much I love both of these icons of coolness. But here's where my thought process went. MST3K is done. It's 10 years now since it has been finished. There's no more new MST3Ks. It's cool that Rift Tracks and Cinematic Titanic are around, but MST3K is not back and probably might not come back. And I have these all ingrained into my DNA. I could go years without seeing another episode and I'll know the jokes. And I will still bust out laughing over nothing to other people because I'm crazy. But I'm really reminded of a joke. Batman continues on, and Batman will probably always continue on as long as there's an American society. There will be Batman books. Even though, yeah, right now Bruce Wayne's dead, he'll be back. So I'd have to go with Batman if you put a gun to my head. Thank God this is an imaginary situation, so I can enjoy both. But if it had to come to that, it'd have to be Batman. Excuse me, I don't need to drink. Let's see. All right. Now, Sketchy Jones Sketchy Jones, friend of mine, and I hope you're doing well. Hope your family's well. Hope everything's good, and just keep me informed of the baby, and I hope you're doing well. All right, she asked me, Desert Island, top 5 movies and comics. All right, movies. Well, I mean, I pretty much mentioned these, but these are the movies I could watch over and over again. Pulp Fiction, Citizen Kane, Ghostbusters, Akira, Strip-O-Rama with Betty Page. I'm on a desert island by myself. I mean, come on. I have to masturbate to something. Comic books. Box Office Poison, Watchmen, Dark Knight Returns, and the Daredevil hardcover omnibus. That big-ass thing that you crush skulls with. And I know I'm just supposed to stick to 5, but the Alias omnibus from Brian Michael Bendis, the Jessica Jones series that only ran like 26 issues. That's a really good one too. I would basically like big wordy books that I could read over and over again and see something new each time. Let's see, she also asked me, and just to spice it up a notch, top 5 favorite movies to chastise while they're playing. Jim Cotta, You Can't Stop the Music, Shark Attack 3, Troll 2, and The Ultimate Warrior. I was forced to watch The Ultimate Warrior not too long ago, and a friend of mine told me that he really liked it as a kid because he remembered how badass Yul Brynner looked in the beginning when he's like standing and being badass and tough, and I think he's just meditating. And then I told him, so the coolest thing in the movie is a guy standing? That's pretty much a good example. God, Jim Cotta, I mean, if you haven't seen Jim Cotta, that is a train wreck of a clusterfuck, of a mess, of a movie. Alright,